Vancouverites are leaving their condos and townhomes to detached homes in the Fraser Valley. Find out how this affects buyers and sellers on your Monday Market Monitor. After a couple of requests, we are changing up your Monday Market Monitor to include some numbers from the Fraser Valley so that you can better understand the market and that you can take advantage of both buying and selling in not only the Lower Mainland, but of course in the Fraser Valley. So let's get started with the data and statistics from both the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board for the week of March 27th to April 2nd, 2023. Turns out, in both the Lower Mainland and the Fraser Valley, we've seen a week-over-week uptick in the number of new listings hitting the market at 1,165 and 592 respectively for last week. This is an excellent set of news for buyers who have been in an inventory quagmire for the last few months. More inventory equals less competition for buyers. But now, that's not to say that all the multiple offers are over, as we're going to chat a little bit more about that later in this video. Because it's the beginning of the month, there was of course a flurry of activity with the expired listings in both boards. As we've chatted about previously, listing contracts tend to end at the tail end of the month, so that's when we see an increase in the number of contracts expiring or coming to the end of their term. Interestingly enough, in Greater Vancouver, the number of price changes increased last week up to 236. So more sellers are starting to think that they had to get a successful spring sale, they are going to need to rethink their pricing and potentially their marketing. As for successful sales in the Greater Vancouver area, there were 508 of those last week and 342 in the Fraser Valley. These are pretty solid numbers given that we previously saw continued drops in inventory week over week for quite some time. How long did it take to achieve a successful sale, you might ask? In both the Fraser Valley and Greater Vancouver, it took only 12 days on average to do so. That's with listing the property, marketing, accepting an offer, negotiating, having the buyer remove subjects, and now that, my friend, is actually a really speedy timeline to get all that done. So why are properties right now selling so quickly? Simple. Because there is still a high percentage of properties selling at or above the list price. In fact, 31% of successful sales last week in Greater Vancouver and 36.5% of successful sales last week in the Fraser Valley were at or above the list price. That is a lot of buyers competing for the same properties, which means a lot of disappointed buyers and some very delighted sellers. At the top of the video, I actually mentioned that Vancouverites are leaving their condos and townhomes and moving to the Fraser Valley. How do we know this? Well, last week we had the highest number of Greater Vancouver condo and townhome sales that I have ever reported at 81%. Now, where are all those owners going? Well, of course, to the Fraser Valley to buy detached homes, where 59% of the properties sold last week were actually detached houses. It truly is the time for moving up to a detached home. Condo and townhome sellers in the Greater Vancouver are reaping the rewards of the spring market right now and cashing in on buyer competition and then turning around, leveraging their sale to buy the home with a yard in the Fraser Valley. So there's a lot to consider if you're buying or selling in this fast-paced and unprecedented market. So remember, if you want to have an in-depth conversation about the Vancouver real estate market as well as the Fraser Valley real estate market and how these stats will affect your spring home sale or home purchase, then reach out for some expert advice. Thank you so much for tuning in to your Monday Market Monitor, and we will see you in the next video.